Well, yeah, the first thing I wanted to ask is how would you describe the premise of Nerve?
Yeah, so Nerve is an online game, and you can pay to be a player or a watcher. And if you're a player, the watchers find information about you online through your social media, and they give you dares that you wouldn't want to do. So if they find out you're afraid of heights, they're going to put you at the top of a tall building. And as the movie progresses, it gets the dares get more life-threatening, and it gets crazy.
Did it freak you out slightly that just as the film is coming out, basically, Pokemon Go, which has certain parallels,
Yeah,
becomes like the biggest thing on the planet, basically?
right. It didn't freak me out because we were more just happy about it because it helped our movie. It helped bring some attention to our film. But it makes our movie that much scarier because a lot of these other movies, these young adult movies that have come out in the past decade, they all take place in a dystopian future where reality is elevated. And in our movie, it's like the things that are happening are actually happening around us every day, and it's just it makes it that much more palpable and that much more scary. Yeah.
You've just done two films, if I'm right, with your brother directing.
One and a half.
One and
One
a
of them I just have a little cameo in one scene. Yeah.
What's it like having your brother direct you? Is that tricky? Because I love my sister, but I wouldn't want her telling me what to do.
Right, right. No, it was really fun actually. We have very similar sensibilities, and so we're both always kind of trying to push the envelope. And he's happiest when he's directing, and he's a really great actor's director too, in the sense that he puts a lot of time into casting his movies, and then once he feels like he has the perfect cast, he really steps back and wants you to bring your own thing to the part. And you know, as an actor, for the most part, I like that freedom. And that's not to say that he doesn't step in when he needs to, but another person who is very collaborative and he wants to really talk it through. And first and foremost, when you're starting a scene, he's like, all right, whatever you have in your head, bring that. Start with that, and we'll go from there, and we'll mold it from there.
I guess there's been times in your career where having a brother who's also in the industry has been a help, and sometimes I guess it must have been a hindrance. So I
Yes.
was wondering how you see the balance between that. Is it overall been a positive thing, do you think?
No.
No.
uh, I mean, I don't want to downplay it because he did help me get a manager when I was first starting, and that's not something I take for granted. That's a hard thing. But from there, no one was going to hire me just because I was his brother, you know? And on top of that, there was almost like a spotlight on me because I was his brother, and I almost was expected to succeed in this business that's very difficult to succeed in. And so I felt that pressure. And then once I started working, you know, for the past 10 years, I've been trying to pave my own path and like making a real effort to do so. But I get it, you know, I get that people are going to make the comparison and always bring them up, but trust me, I've been doing everything I can to do my own thing and to stand on my own 2 feet. But the reason we did work recently together for the first time in a real way is because I got to a point where I was like, you know what, people are going to say what they say, and I know I've been true to myself. This is my brother. I love him. I want to work with him. People are going to say what they want. I'm going to do what my heart's telling me to do, and I'm glad I did because we had a great time together. And again, like, I know that I've been true to myself.
I guess the flip side of it is the more great roles you do, the more he's going to be asked about you. So it kind of works both ways.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get to the point where one day he's not referred to as James Franco, he's referred to as Dave Franco's older brother. Yeah.
The last like 2 or 3 years, it feels like your profile's really grown, but you still manage to stay quite private. How do you manage that? Like, I know you have Facebook, but you don't have Instagram and Twitter. Is that a conscious decision?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook, but the main reason is because I started one when I was in college, when everyone was getting a Facebook, and I don't have social media otherwise, and that is a choice for many reasons. Number one, because I am an open person, but when it comes to my private life, like, I don't want to talk about my relationships or my family too much or my friends or what I'm doing. And then another thing is it scares me. It's like everything that happens in this movie. Like, that's what I think about. I think about how people online are so much more willing to be horrible to each other when they're hiding behind a computer screen. And, you know, I know I'm fortunate to say this, but like I'm happy where I'm at in my life, and I don't want to invite that type of negativity into my life on a daily basis. I just don't want to read these horrible things from strangers who are just trying to get a rise out of me. So I've stayed away this long. I'm going to try to maintain, but who knows? I mean, part of the business, it's like studio heads are encouraging people to have social media and are literally casting certain people because they have a certain amount of followers. But for now, I'm going to stay with it, but talk to me in a few years when I'm not getting any work and we'll see.